Right, good afternoon everyone. Hope you're all refreshed after the weekend. Just thought I'd start doing one of my favourite behaviours with Bliss, which is this is one of them, but this is fine dining, so I'm just trying to reward her by keeping her head still. So this is almost what we call like a sit to say please. So she has to sit in order to get something. So this is one of my favourites, but that's not the one that we're going to do. Good girl. So what I'm trying to do is her head has to stay still and then the treat gets to her. This just helps with focus. But the one that I'm going to try and start working with, and she's not done this before, so you're going to see this sort of from the start. Bliss, even though she's kind of happy chewing the cones. Bliss, good girl. Good girl. Is a hand target. It's one of my favourites just simply because it can get you out of jail in so many situations. So if you're out on a walk and you've practiced it around, as you can see, training session with a pup. Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you. If you're out and about on a walk, you can get a hand target. So if dogs are approaching, people approaching, you can get her to start coming to the hand. Now you'll notice here I've got a clicker and you can use the clicker to mark. The problem is, because we're doing a hand target, we might have to do a little bit of learning with some food in one hand, is that, thank you madam, that you've got to click, hold and then treat. So it can get a little bit messy if you are using a clicker, but it's perfectly fine to use a clicker because you're going to mark when she touches your hand. If she manages to do it without the lure, then obviously you can have the click because she can then get the treat and then go and reward after. Bliss, thank you. Oh no, you like those cones. Good girl. So first and foremost, I can just try and see what she will offer, which is I can just put my hand into position. Bliss. Once she's finished investigating. Good girl. So if I come over this way, come here. So if I hold my hand, you can see I'm just looking to see whether she goes near it. I'm not putting any pressure on her. So if I just put my hand out, I mean, she's kind of not that fussed at the moment. So again, this is no pressure training. Just let her kind of find a way. Good girl. So you see how she's not really looking at the hand. So what we can do then is place some food. So you just place the food in the palm of your hand and then just kind of put the food down. Good girl. Yes, good girl. See, might have been out of shot, but again, just going to put some food in just to tempt her forward. Yes, good girl. But now I'm going to try and reward from a different place. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. So you can see all I'm doing is as she comes back to the hand, and eventually we can start moving that, but I'm having the food just under there to give her something to go towards. Yes, good girl. It's a bit awkward with, as you can see, trying to click, but what you can do is as she goes towards the hand, you can then click and reward. Good girl. So that's how it would work with a click, but it just sometimes can get a little bit messy. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. And then over time you can then start sort of taking the food out and then just presenting the hand again. Yes, good girl. 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 Good girl. And that's really enough for now. We're not looking for perfection, but in time we might want her to push her nose in harder, and so you might actually bring the food back into your hand just so that she's pushing harder in, because you want that really hard touch. Now, what can this work for you in? So again, as I say, if you're out on a walk and you've practiced it with her being on lead and off lead, then dog's approaching, you just start putting your hand down and she starts taking her eyes off what's approaching and starts playing the game. And your favourite game at the moment is chewing the cones. Hop! Good girl, go get it. And it just means, you know, if she's out in the garden and she's chewing, well, as a pup, you know, she could be picking up a stick. I can offer the hand eventually and just get her to give me a different behaviour that's more appropriate. In the house, when visitors are around, again, start getting her to do the hand touch. Just takes her away from a behaviour and gets her to do something a little bit more appropriate and just breaks up that cycle. And a hand touch is so easy because you know, you just pop your hand out. Yes, good girl. Oh, my finger on the button there, but yes, good girl. I must admit, I'm kind of, I use marker words more than I use clicker, so you'll notice that my timing with the clicker is not brilliant in this. But the idea is that as we present the hand, she's got a scratch. You got it, girl. Good girl. And then just start again, you know, very short. Good girl. Good girl. And that's really it. So have a go, very easy one to do. If you need to, I say, just get the piece of food into your hand and just cover it over with your thumb. That just gets them tempted to come into the hand to start with. Once they're doing it consistently, you can start either then snapping it into a smaller piece of food until you've got it down to such a small bit. You can then remove the piece of food away and they're just coming into the hand. Good girl. Good girl. Ready? Get it.